Hey Diana, your favorite Astro-Nerd. I hope you are doing well. I am doing very good too. And finally, I was able to capture the Milky Way. I do have a lot of problems here in my area because of the trees, the altitude, the latitude. It's kind of like difficult to spot. Also, we were having lots of upgrades, constant, and I really couldn't keep up with all of that. I finally did it's a little scary, the mandatory upgrade. Let's take a look at what Dwarflab recommends. Use these numbers as starting point, and I am pretty sure they're going to change because the sky conditions are different. Okay, so let's take a look here on the Help Center what Dwarflab recommends for the Milky Way. Set the EQ mode using an exposure time of over 15 seconds to get better results. And then we are going to use the Sky Atlas to find that part of the Milky Way that we want to capture. But in my case, I mean, I really have to work hard on this one. Then we are going to switch the view to the wide angle, which is the number one mistake that I made all night. Okay, and then we are going into configure settings and change the shooting parameters to use the Astro filter. And they recommend shutter 60, gain 10. Okay, so now we passed the by the book recommendations. Now let's go to reality. Well, the first step for sure is to be sure where the Milky Way is going to be. And for that, I highly recommend Photopills. It's $10.99 to buy the app forever. But I am telling you, you're going to get the location with extreme precision. And not only that, for other events too. And also to do polar alignment and many other features, as I have made several videos with this app. And this is the problem that I was having. I was not able to get too much. But now using the Photopills, that is the spot that I need to capture. So actually, I can start around 11:38 p.m. and then go all the way here, moving to the south-southwest around 2 a.m. EQ mode is very important. If you are planning to do over 30 seconds exposure time, you're going to get a significant amount of start trails. So better to go ahead and do your EQ mode before. As normal, this is the same process that you have been done until now. And be sure that once you have your EQ mode done, don't move the telescope anymore. You have to leave it in the exact position. The first thing you need to do is take several rounds of dark frames using the wide lens. Do different combinations, because this is what happened to me the other night and I didn't do that. So I have to be taking dark frames every time I did a test, and I kind of like that setting. You will have to stop with the ND filter. Definitely I did not cover the lenses completely. It was relatively dark. But here are my recommendations. Using the EQ mode, if you want to start with the 60 seconds, do several rounds of dark frames using the shutter speed 60, let's say gain 40, gained 20, and gain 10. And then go ahead and do the same thing. Take 3 rounds with shutter speed 30, gain 40 or 60, I don't know, depends on your sky, 20 and 10. And then finally, I did another round with the shutter speed on 15. And this one, I increased the gain because then it's not going to work fine. But I even started like at shutter speed 15, gain 60, gain 40. And then this way you already have those dark frames and you don't have to start taking them in the middle of the imaging session. I hope you are enjoying this tutorial. And if you are a member of my membership program, don't forget to check on the perks section. I have posted a bunch of links and short tutorials on PDF documents to make your life easier so you don't have to write everything. And if you want to join my membership program, you just go on my channel and click on join and follow the steps, and it costs $3.99 a month. That's all, and it helps a lot to keep this channel going. Okay, the default for the dark frames, I believe, is just 10 frames. So I'm assuming it took 10 dark frames for each of the settings. And now I am going to try just the shutter 60, gain 40. Dwarflab recommends to start with 10, but I think that's too low. I don't know. And this is the first thing right here. Every time you get your first frame, it's going to look like that. It's kind of like looks like if the photo is wrong, just give it a few seconds and then you're going to start seeing the first frame. And the first one looks good, but it's going to start showing star trails because I didn't do EQ mode. Another great improvement is that on the Milky Way, for the Milky Way on the wide angle, it's doing the stacking, the live stacking. And we can see by the third frame here, the stars are elongated because I didn't do the equatorial mode. So I am going to stop this session and change to a different setting. If you forgot to do the dark frames like myself, you can do just like one photo to test on each setting. That way you don't have to do multiple dark frame settings. I think I needed to go back to the Sky Atlas and pick a different area of the Milky Way, as I didn't see much on that one. It's very difficult because of all the trees that are around me. But finally, I found another area, and then all it is going to go back, send it on go to mode, and it's going to do the calibration again. You don't have to touch the telescope anymore or do EQ mode or anything. You just keep trying and testing using the settings, the initial setup that you start. Another big mistake that happened to me through the imaging session was regarding the dark frames. When I was taking the dark frames on the spot and I wanted to continue the imaging session, then it was like taking forever without realizing, because the screen looks very similar. You have to click on that X, the exit, and get out of the dark frame mode in order to continue. Shutter 30 and gain 30 was a good one, so I like this setting. I think it's one that I would like to try in the future. Shutter 30, gain 20 looks very good too. And for all of these tests, if I was doing more than one frame, I did the dark frames, and also I used the curves to make it visually better for me to make a decision. And I kind of like started playing a little bit with the curves and reset, see which one was the best way to do. Seems like that S curve worked very well, and as you can see, it's a big difference. So use the curves to capture the Milky Way. As I continued through the night, I ended up using shutter 15, gain 20 out of many tests. And here you can see 65 frames and stack 61. Well, the stars and the Milky Way are looking better. Obviously, the trees are all blurry, but we are tracking the stars and not tracking the trees. So this is an interesting setting that I won't mind to use it. Obviously, on this one, I'm not using equal mode either. For the 30 seconds, there we go, 60 seconds. These are raw images. This one, 30 seconds, just 2 minutes with Stellar Studio, and the 60 seconds Stellar Studio. Then I did a very quick editing in Photoshop using Camera Raw filter, and these are the results. But don't forget to look for the second part of this video, which is going to be, the editing to do. What are the options with the Stellar Studio or other editing software? So part 2 is going to be really interesting. Remember, we are a Milky Way mania.